I woke up, I felt so compelled to do this video. A lot of it came from me reading the new Little Mermaid Ariel situation, where they picked Halle Bailey to be the new Ariel, which is so amazing. My first thought was, oh my gosh, this is so great. We finally get to see someone of color be a Disney princess. And then all of a sudden I saw all of the, I don't even on Twitter, but I saw all of the Twitter stuff that was like, hashtag notmyariel. Oh, I have red hair and I really looked up to her. And then some people are actually even doing like scientific reasoning as to why it's so unrealistic that Ariel can be a black woman. Keep in mind, there's no such thing as mermaids anyway, at least from what I think. I don't know, maybe there are, which means there is no realistic mermaid. Halle Bailey, I hope I'm saying her name right, is absolutely stunning, beautiful. She sings with her sister Chloe in a duo singing group, from what I know, and Beyonce actually discovered her and her sister and really gave them their start and gave them a really big opportunity. From what I see, she has come out and said, you know, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. It's a dream come true. Very, very humble, and really grateful for the opportunity she had. This is the kind of stuff that we as a Black community need to rally around. These are the kind of things where people really come out of the woodworks, really come out the side of their neck and say what they feel. Hashtag notmyariel is so disgusting. She's a 19-year-old girl, worked incredibly, incredibly hard, and deserves not only the black people support, but everyone's support. It's amazing to see a girl win. But if nothing else, us as a Black community have got to rally around people like this, rally around people that are doing well, because it's the only way we can make any movement. And that gets myself to Coco. Coco was a 15-year-old Black girl who was taking Wimbledon by storm. She actually beat Venus in the first round. Now, keep in mind, the Williams sisters, back when I was younger, they're still it. They are phenomenal, like groundbreaking Black women in tennis. Now, I played tennis. I love tennis. The history of tennis is that tennis, whether you know it or not, is also a very racialized sport. The reason being is tennis has a socioeconomic piece to it. You got to buy a tennis racket. A lot of time tennis courts are at the country clubs, and most of the time the country clubs are predominantly white. So to see Black women do well and in fact crush everybody else, Serena and Venus are arguably the two best female athlete tennis stars that we've seen thus far. So to see Coco beat pretty much her idol was such a beautiful moment, and it was even more beautiful for Venus to support her and say, hey, the sky's the limit for her. This is what we need more of. We need to rally around Black women, Black men who are doing amazing, amazing things. This is the stuff I want to see when I open up my Twitter. Hashtag Coco. Not hashtag notmyariel. Why don't we put our hashtag that's my Ariel? Something like that, but we really need to come together and rally and support. Now, back to this Disney thing. I was like doing a little research because Walt Disney himself, I think Meryl Streep, who's, you know, arguably one of the best actresses in the world, came out and actually said Walt Disney was extremely racist. You can do a lot of research in the background of Disney movies and how there are like subtle hints of racism throughout the entire movie. So I actually looked movies in general. So I was actually just doing a little bit of research. Disney started with Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty from like the late 30s to late 50s. Now, obviously, this was like the first Disney princesses are happily ever after, all white. Not surprising, 30s and 50s. Then we get to 1989 when Little Mermaid came out. Little Mermaid, you know, had the long red hair, super, you know, it was phenom. People with red hair came out and said, I just love it. Oh my gosh, my first Disney princess. Then we had Beauty and the Beast. We had Aladdin, Pocahontas, and Mulan, who were finally women of color, or not white. Then I believe in 2009 was when The Princess and the Frog came out, and that was the first Black princess. And I remember people, you know, through the roof happy that we finally had some sort of representation. Because remember, when I was growing up, I had zero, like no representation at all for a Disney princess. So what message does that send? I'm not a princess. So it was phenomenal to see, at least in 2009, even though from the 30s to 2009, it's almost 70 years, and we had no black Disney princesses. So that is the problem in and of itself. Then I actually was reading something else, and in 2018, Tiana was actually going to be recast in another Disney movie, the character from Princess and the Frog, except they completely recreated her. In the new drawings, they made her really, really fair skin, looser curls, more Eurocentric features, and that wasn't upward. So Disney actually had to backpedal, and redraw her to make her look like she originally looked in Princess and the Frog. So that in and of itself says something about where we are as a society with, Eurocentric light skin features and darker skinned women. Obviously, Chris Brown had his new song come out, still talking about the same old stuff. I only want people with good hair and light skin and all that kind of stuff. This is so divisive in a community that is already struggling. I mean, Donald Trump is our president. We have enough problems to deal with. Now, I love research. I love reading. And last night I actually took out the Willie Lynch letters. If you guys don't know what that is, Willie Lynch, back in the day, basically wrote a series of letters and a series of basically manipulation tactics that slave owners could use to make sure that black people continued to be enslaved and were not able to uprise. One of them being, make sure that you split your slaves and make them feel as though one class is better than the other. That way they can never unite. This is hundreds of years ago. Literally to this day, we are playing into what Willie Lynch said. They initially split us up by light skin and dark skin. Basically, the slave owners put it in our mind and manipulated us to believe that one set was better than the other. Light skin, dark skin. Really, they should both be right here. But this was actually a manipulation tactic that slave owners used. And guess what? We're still upholding it today. It is absolutely disgusting. If you want to read an amazing thing, read the Willie Lynch letters. It'll probably make you cry because it's manipulation that white people actually put on black people, and we are just playing into it. So all that to say is stuff like this is still happening. We need not to worry about people like Chris Brown, and some people like him will always be ignorant and say ignorant things. Like, it is what it is. We already know about a lot of the things he's done in the past we know who Chris Brown is. I think there was also stuff that came out that he only let light-skinned people in his club section or something to that. Not quite sure. But my plea to you is to rally around each other. We cannot be divisive between each other, especially black women. I mean, we've all heard the saying that black women are the most disrespected, people in America. It's very, very true. Things that we can do. Support our black women. Go watch Coco, support her, shout her out, get her all over Twitter, get her all over Instagram, make her powerful. It's what Venus and Serena did for her. It is a perfect example of what powerful black women open the gates for someone else of a younger generation. Venus and Serena did that for Coco. We want to rally around Coco and make sure she can do it for somebody else. Halle Bailey, you better go hard and support her all over, blow her up. When, the Ariel actually comes out, make sure you go, you support her, rally around her. What we need to do is when we are going to boycott somebody, we actually need to boycott them. When we want to boycott Chris Brown, stop listening to his music. Done deal. When we want to have, certain beauty brands and beauty influencers that feel like it's okay to come out the side of their neck and speak poorly about black women, boycott them. Makeup is not worth your soul. The other side of that is go and support black brands. Put money in the pockets. We spend so much money, nails, hair, makeup, and guess what? Nail salons are predominantly owned by Asian people. No shade, because they're doing their thing, making their businesses, but black people are dumping money into a community that is not ours. Right? And that's the difference between the black community and a lot of other communities that are more, financially stable, is they really make sure that they are, maintaining money within their own systems and really lifting each other up, where Black people tend to get money and dump it into other communities. Same thing with all like the Gucci, Givenchy, Dolce & Gabbana. All those are white-owned companies. Like, they're all white designers. It's great, but like, who are we supporting that is Black? Finally, Rihanna came out with a Fenty line, which is fantastic. Like, definitely go. That's my girl. Actually, her name is Rihanna, not Rihanna. In America, we keep saying Rihanna, but her name is Rihanna, but neither here nor there. She is my spirit animal. I love her. Please go support Fenty. Finally, a brand that is Black owned. But there are a ton of other Black owned brands, so do your research when you're in the store. And like, with your money, make educated decisions as to how you spend that. That is pretty much it. I was just freaking out with this whole Ariel situation, but then I was just so uplifted when I saw Coco play at Wimbledon, and Venus and Serena shouting her out as well and saying, hey, like, she's amazing, the sky's the limit. And just seeing doors open up generation after generation, and then feeling an obligation myself to make sure that I am doing things, in my field, which is, law and education and things of that nature, to make sure someone else that comes behind me doesn't have it as hard as I did. So that's what we can do. Support one another. Stop buying into the divisiveness. Willie Lynch, he was right. They have been manipulating Black minds. The country and the systems have been manipulating Black minds for hundreds of years, and we continue to buy into it. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much. I know I look a hot mess, but I wanted to jump on and just share my thoughts with you. I will talk to you soon. Make sure to go support each other, support good causes. Come together, stop buying into divisiveness and all the crap that comes along with it. That's it. Bye.